What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Football Manager 2017 video. Today I've got the full La Liga Santander transfer budgets. Now, if you've not seen my Premier League video, go and check it out. There will be a link down below in the description. I will also be covering the Bundesliga, Serie A, and any other divisions that you actually want me to look for. So let me know in the comments below what divisions you want me to do. Also, drop a like on the video if you are enjoying these videos. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new around here. But let's start off with Alaves. So, Alaves, I believe they're recently promoted. They do start off with a £0 transfer budget and a £25,19,000 per week wage budget. So, obviously, no money to spend, but they do have a bit of wages free. So, free players will be the best option for you, all loan players, if you go with Alaves. Next up, we have Athletic Bilbao. They have an £8.61 million transfer budget with £50,000 per week wages available, which is pretty decent, to be fair. I think you could probably get at least one decent player to improve their squad in with that budget. Move on to the Giants, which is Atletico Madrid. They only have a £4.3 million transfer budget and £96,000 per week wages, which isn't great considering when you look at the players that are just there. Hazard, Aubameyang, Oscar, Di Maria, Thiago, Felipe Coutinho, Daniel Sturridge, all them players can be attracted, but they've only got 4.3 million to spend. That's pretty disappointing, to be honest. Next up, we have one of the big two. It's Barcelona. They only have a £10.33 million transfer budget with a £125,000 per week wage budget available, and they can pretty much attract anyone in the world, so that's pretty disappointing again to only have 10.33 million, but obviously it's got to be a realistic representation because they wouldn't have just done that for no reason. Next up, we have Deportivo La Coruña. They have a £0 transfer budget as well with £20,000 per week wages. So again, if you're thinking about going with them, loans and free players are the only way for you unless you want to ship out some of your players. Next up, we have Elbar or Ebar, whatever the hell you want to call them. I'm not too sure. They've got £430,000 in transfer budget with just over £11,000 per week wage budget. So again, you're probably going to want to look for the lesser players, the cheaper options and potentially loan deals if you're thinking about going with them. Next up, we have another team from Barcelona, which is Espanyol. They have £861,000 in transfer budget with just short of £50,000 per week in wages. So if you're looking for someone around £1 million, then potentially bring him in. But again, loan deals are probably the best way unless you're willing to ship out some of your better players. Next up, we have Granada. They also have an £861,000 transfer budget with just short of £30,000 per week wages, which again, you're just seeing these kind of similar amounts, which is pretty disappointing for some of these teams, but obviously there's reasoning behind that. Loan deals are probably the best option again for this team. Next up, we have the team from Gran Canaria, which is Las Palmas. They have £430,000 transfer budget, as well as a £15,000 per week wage budget, so one of the smallest in the league. Again, you're looking at loans and free players, unless again you are willing to get rid of some of your better players. But also, one thing I want to mention, this will change depending on your season expectations, so if you do put your season expectations higher, then you'll probably get a bit of a better budget. Next up, we have a team that I just have no idea how to pronounce the name, but I believe it's Leganes. They've got £0 transfer budget and £14,000 per week wages, so again, free players and loans are the way to go. Then we have Malaga. They have again £861,000 transfer budget. I'm not too sure if this is actually correct because it's literally as if all the teams have this budget. Maybe it's kind of some kind of glitch in the game. I'll get back to you on that if that is the case. Next up, we have Osasuna. They are another team with £0 transfer budget, but they do have just short of £7,000 per week in wage budget available to them. So once again, free players and loans are probably the only way to go. Now we've got Real Betis. They have a bit of money to spend, to be fair. They've got £2.5 million in transfer budget with just short of £40,000 per week in wages. So again, you can probably attract some relatively decent players, especially if you just want squad players and, even go in for a couple of loan deals. That will work out if you're thinking about going with Betis. Next up, we have Real Madrid. They have £17 million to spend and £174,000 per week in wage budget available to them, which, considering the amount of players they can attract the attentions of, again, it's probably a bit underwhelming, but you can probably still get someone half decent for that price. Next up, we have Real Sociedad, and again, they have that £861,000 transfer budget with £25,000 per week wage budget, so once again, not the best. Next up, we have Sevilla, obviously the Europa League champions. They have a £3.44 million transfer budget with £190,000 per week wages. Once again, pretty underwhelming. Then we have Sporting Gijon, who have £0 in transfer budget and £4,000 per week wages. So once again, free transfers are the way to go. Then we have Valencia, who have one of the highest in the division. They have a £12.92 million transfer budget. With just short of £50,000 per week in wages, you can probably attract someone half decent for that amount. Next up, we have Celta Vigo. They have just short of £3.5 million transfer budget, and they also have just short of £50,000 per week wages. And to wrap up the video, we have Villarreal, who have just over £3 million in transfer budget and just short of £30,000 per week in wage budget. That has been all for this La Liga team budgets video. As I said, they seem a bit strange. I'll let you know if there is some kind of glitch, and I'll do an updated video if that is the case. But thank you all for watching. Be sure to drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed. Be sure to comment down below any other leagues you'd like me to do. And if you are new around here, drop a subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's much appreciated, guys. But until next time, goodbye.